Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Wait, I got to go live in my. Yep, there it is. Okay. I think I'm live everywhere. Sorry, I had to click on Instagram because you have to actually go in and click live on that. So, got that done. And I am so excited to be here. Happy Wednesday to everyone. I hope you've got your lunch. Drop me some comments. What are you eating for lunch? I will try to keep an eye on the comments, but you know how excited I get sometimes, and sometimes I lose track of comments. So, today we are going into where are we at? We're on Instagram. We're in private Facebook groups. We are on my business page in Facebook, YouTube. Oh, so many places. I love technology. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Facebook is making some changes. April 22nd, we're supposed to really get a good idea of whether we can still use like third party software to go into Facebook. And if not, yeah, we're going to figure that out when it happens. So don't panic. If you want to be on my email list, then there's several ways you can do that. You can either drop me a comment and say, yes, I want to be on your email list, and I will send you a private message and get your email address. Probably the easiest way is to go to www.theaprilchilders.com. That is CHILDERS.com. And then you can just, there'll be a little pop-up and it'll ask you for your email. So go ahead and do that, because we all know how much fun social media is. So I try to build my email list so that way you'll know what's going on in my world, and you'll be able to keep up. So just in case, I don't know, somebody decides to crash a particular day or the government shuts down somebody else, so much fun. So make sure you get on my email list. You'll be the first to know what the upcoming episode is. Speaking of the podcast, as y'all know, you know what? Let me check something real quick. I want to make sure you can hear me. Oh, I don't know if that. Oh, no. Okay, hold on. Let me check on Facebook and see if you can hear me. If you're watching, drop me a comment. Make sure that I can hear you. And oh, I got Facebook pulled up here. I got too much technology. Do you have that problem? Oh, that was something else I was listening to. Huh. See, I got free training. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my phone and I'm going to look at my group and see. Oh, goodness gracious. Can we get all this stuff done before your lunch is over? Drop me some comments. What are you eating for lunch? Can we get all Okay. Yep, you can hear me. Okay. So drop me some comments. What are you eating for lunch? Is this your lunchtime? Okay. So focus. All right. Podcast. I was talking about of the What's Her Superpower podcast. So much fun. If you have ever thought about creating a podcast, I talk to women all the time. They're like, yeah, I've really thought about it, but I'm not sure. Just do it. Just do it. Nike, I'm going to steal Nike's line. Just do it, because it is so much fun. But on that note, I before I even got started, before I even launched the podcast, um, I was a little nervous about launching it and whether I was going to have enough people to jump on and talk to me. And the response was overwhelming, just amazing. So what I did was I recorded like 17 episodes. Well, because I was doing every other week an interview and then doing the other one with just me, it's taken forever to get through these episodes. And I really miss interviewing. So I'm tweaking the format a little bit because it's my podcast and I can do that. So what I'm going to start doing is every week I'm going to have an interview, a new interview for y'all. That way I can get through the interviews that I already have, that are already done. And then I'm going to, and that allows me to get more amazing women's stories out there to y'all. So if you haven't checked out What's Her Superpower podcast, please check that out. We have such a good time, so many amazing women, and just sharing their stories of not only just surviving life, but, coming out stronger on the other side. And that's what we do. As women, we need to support each other. We need to share stories because somebody out there needs to hear someone's survival story. Okay? You can come through whatever valley you're in, there is sunshine waiting for you on the other side. But tomorrow's episode will be my last one. I hate to say, I can't say that. It will be just me, and it's all about 12 simple habits to help improve your life. I found this article, love it. I give the lady credit that in the episode of who did it, and she just did an amazing job with this article. So, I find stuff like that and I just want to share it with y'all. So from now on, I'll be sharing things like that on the Lunch and Learn. So make sure that you're tuning in for those kind of things. Now, some of you might be wondering where this topic came from. All about retirement, the psychological side of retiring. Yesterday, I actually recorded a interview with for a ladies summit on. That was my sticky note to remind me to tell you all about the podcast. Um, on the all about retirement. And I mean, she's doing all kinds of different aspects, financial, health, and she invited me to be part of her summit. I was very excited about it. But it really got me thinking of, y'all all know that I'm retired military, and I felt very ill prepared to retire psychologically, and it wasn't just, okay, what do I do? Because we had already bought our property in Tennessee. We had a brick and mortar business, a convenience store. Don't ever buy a convenience store. I'm just saying, let me save you a lot of aggravation. Don't do it. Okay. So I wasn't job hunting, anything like that. So those things were lined up. I knew where I was going. I knew what I was going to do. But what I didn't realize was that psychologically, everything that I knew for the last 20 years was going to be gone like that. I retired one day. We had a party that night. The next day, I think it was the next day. Yeah, the next day we drove we drove to Tennessee, and then Monday I got up and went to the store with my husband. I went to work, and I said, "Wait a second, you had a year off, and I had like a day. What's up with that?" He's like, "Yeah, and I've been running the store by myself for the last 10 months, so you're going to work." So that's what we did. That's what I did. And but what I didn't realize, I mean, because in the military, and I'm sure in a lot of civilian world, a lot of civilian jobs, drop me some comments. What's the process of, what when you retire? If you're retired, if you're getting ready to retire, it's like one day you have your normal routine, and then the next day you don't. Your friends are gone, and they're still going to work. They don't have time to talk to you in the middle of the day, when you have time. If you actually retire, if you go on to another job, then all of a sudden you don't have time either. So I was excited about retiring. I was a little nervous. I was a little apprehensive. Um, and I didn't really know what to expect. Sorry, my voice is giving me fits. Um, so yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking. But I want you to know that studies have shown that your body does not know the difference between fear and excitement. So if you tell yourself that you are afraid of whatever's going to happen, then that's how your body's going to react. If you tell your body you're excited about what's going to happen, like when I started my podcast, I I was apprehensive. I was a little scared, but I just told my body that I am so excited about this opportunity to do this. This is going to be so much fun. So that's it's all in how you frame it to your body, to your mind. So we know how powerful our mind is. It can be our favorite, our worst enemy or our favorite resource. All right. So when it comes to retirement, it's not just about the numbers, the finances, the next job, where you're going to live. There's a lot that goes into retirement. Um, but it's also about navigating that emotional landscape of this significant thing in your life. I mean, this is the biggest event since, well, for me, it was going into the military. Going in was easy. Coming out was a whole different story because I was a much different person than I was, 20 years later. Of course, I'm a different person. So, how long have you been in your job, and how does your life interact with your job? Is that where your friends are, your social friends? Do you have friends outside of your workplace? Do you have hobbies outside of your workplace? Because those are things that I didn't have hobbies. I didn't have friends who were in my same area because we were stationed in Virginia for the longest time and for most of my career. And I moved to Middle Tennessee. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. Like I said, most of my friends were still working, so it's not like I could call and just hang out with them. So, but it's important that you don't act like it's not a big event because it is. It's a huge event in your life. Um, all right, so I talked about the apprehension, I talked about the fear, the excitement. We're not going to call fear fear, we're going to call it excitement. And we're going to explore the range. It's important that you explore the range of emotions that your retirement planning can trigger, from the excitement to all this freedom and to the apprehension of maybe financial uncertainty, and that can come like, do you have another follow-on job? Do you want a follow-on job? Can you afford not to have another job? How have you set yourself up to transition to civilian life? And sometimes that comes with losing your identity. What no matter what job you do. I know that my rank was not my identity, but after spending 20 years conforming to the military way of life, I really wasn't sure who I was at that point when I retired. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know. So I didn't even realize that I didn't know who I was. It was just this all of a sudden this newfound freedom that I had that I really didn't know what to do with. It's kind of like the lady I was talking to yesterday that interviewed me. I told her, I said, and some of you are going to be too young to remember this, but when the internet was all of a sudden accessible to everyone, you were so excited about it. This whole world was at your fingertips. And the first time you sat in front of your computer to look for something, you're like, I could look for anything in the world. I don't know what to look for. Did anybody besides me have that feeling? Okay, maybe it's just me. But retirement was the same way. It was like I had all of this freedom, and we did have our convenience store, which we did sell, probably about a year and a half, 2 years after retiring from the military. Um, but then it was really this sense of freedom, like, "Okay, now what do I do in my day?" At least when I had the store, I knew that I had to get up and go do certain things. But you retire and you have all this freedom and you may not know what to do. Do you like to travel? Do you have hobbies? Are there things that you've always wanted to try? I took quilting classes, I took gardening classes, I joined a garden club, I got a real estate license, I did direct sales. I just I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I had the freedom to try different things. And my husband's one rule was that I could do anything I wanted to do as long as he didn't have to go and get another job. So I couldn't lose a lot of money. I bought a house from a wholesale dealer and flipped a house. I bought some investment property and had a builder build a house on the land as an investment. I even had rentals. So it to me, it was fun. I had a great time going through and just trying different things. That was my time for exploration. So allow yourself time and space to explore what you want to do because you don't have to have all the answers right away. People say, "Oh, follow your purpose, follow your dream." And you're sitting there like, I don't even know what that is. I did not know that my purpose was working with women that had served in the military, transitioning into civilian world. I didn't know that. That was almost 10 years ago. And I am just now, I feel like, have clarity to this is my mission and this is who I want to work with you know, whether it's one-on-one coaching, it's group coaching. I just don't want these women to go through the same experience that I went through that was, 10 years in the making. It can be a lot faster. So whether you're retiring from the military or you just spent a few years, because you have to remember that a lot of these people went in right out of their family's house. So they went from mom and dad's house into the military where they still have people telling them what to do, how to do it, when to do it, what to wear when they're doing it, you know. And all of a sudden, this is the first taste of freedom that they've had, whether they've been in 4 years or they've been in 40 years. So drop me some comments. What is your job? Are you in the corporate world? Are you looking to retire? How is that going for you? Are you close to retirement or have you just retired and you're just kind of stretching your legs with this newfound freedom? I would love to hear from you. All right. So, as women, we face unique retirement planning um, challenges. We'll call them challenges or concerns. So these may include our financial security. Maybe it's because we were getting paid a lot less because we all know there's a gender pay gap. Health concerns, maybe that is an issue with you where you've got some health concerns that you're going to have to deal with now that you're retired that you kind of ignored while you were working. Maybe it's healthcare cost. Now all of a sudden you don't have your insurance from your company. And a lot of people are staying with companies longer because they need the health insurance. So, or maybe it's caregiving responsibilities. Maybe you are retiring and you either have younger children where now you're the primary caregiver, or maybe you've got aging parents and you're going to be the caregiver for them. So those are all things to look at. Those are some challenges with, depending on the circumstance that you're retiring into. Also, you can lose a sense of identity and purpose when you retire. Maybe you were like the big shot at work or you were in senior leadership or whatever. Now, all of a sudden, when you retire, who are you? What is your reason for getting out of bed every day? And I just think with everything that's gone on, we really need to look at retirement used to be you just sat in your rocking chair on the porch. But we've got baby boomers out there that are doing tremendous things. They are traveling, they are rock climbing, they are mountain climbing, they're doing all kinds of stuff. So retirement, y'all can tell I'm excited. Retirement, I highly recommend it to you. I've got friends that have retired. Some of them have been a little slower getting going, but, now that they're just enjoying their life. Some have gone on to second careers. It just depends on what retirement looks like for you. And there's no one size fits all. And don't let anybody tell you that there is because they're full of it. All right. So it's important to acknowledge and validate these emotions. We can't ignore them, but this is a normal. There's nothing wrong with you. You are ignore normal reactions because, like we said before, this is a significant part of your life. So we want to recognize that others share similar concerns and experiences. And if you don't have a support system, I encourage you to join one of my private communities. I've got one for women who have served. So if you have served in the military and you would like to join that community for sisterhood and support, please do so. That is where we can encourage each other, listen to each other's stories, and share experiences, because you are not the only one that goes through this. And I think it's so important for us to let each other know that. My other community, if you haven't served in the military, is called Weavers, where passion and purpose reunite. Because I think every woman deserves to live her dream life. And your dream life, it just kind of depends on what that looks like for you. Oh, I don't know if I'm looking at the time, and I'm trying to, stay on time and respect your lunch half hour. All right. So, but you definitely want to build a supportive community, whether it's with me and all the other ladies, or if it's just, maybe you've got family and friends. But be careful who you surround yourself with. You don't want somebody that's already resigned themselves to sit on the back porch in their rocking chair and wait to die. There's too much. You've got this newfound freedom, enjoy it and get those friends who are going to, like Thanksgiving. Our youngest daughter was here. Well, both our daughters were here. And we talked about going to a ball game. I've got a friend in Chicago. I said, hey, she's been trying to get me to go up for a baseball game. She's like, yeah, let's go. I texted a friend of mine who was maybe a little perturbed with me when I went to a football game with her in Chicago. She's like, if you go to anything else, I'm there. So I texted her and said, hey, how would you like to go to Chicago in, what was it, May? In May, we're going to see, I don't care who we go to see, let's go. So those are the kind of friends that you want, not the ones who are sitting on the back porch in their rocking chair waiting to die. You don't want that. You don't need that. Enjoy your retirement. So, and don't think that these emotions are not going to be overwhelming at times. There are going to be days that you're going to have trouble getting out of bed. And you just need to acknowledge those. Give yourself some grace and just say, you know what? I'm having an off day. I need a little time. I need a little, I need a cup of tea. Whatever your need is. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some time and just work through those emotions. If you can't do that on your own, I highly encourage you to get help. If you need that support system, then like I said, join one of our groups. Let us encourage you. Let us go through this process with you. There's, all kinds of things that you can do. Journaling, y'all know I'm a big fan of journaling. So if you're not journaling, that may be something that you can do as you go through this process. What are you feeling? What have you done? What are your hopes? What are your dreams? What do you want to do? There's so much out there. Start researching it. Make sure you take care of yourself. Work self-care into your regimen. Whether you worked out while you were working, maybe you always had that excuse of, oh, I'm too busy, I can't work out. So maybe look into some yoga classes, start slow, get yourself a trainer, go to the local Y, whatever that looks like for you. Like I said, reach out to friends, supportive friends who are going to encourage you and walk through the process with you. So that's my big thing for today. I'm doing good on time, as much as I kind of wandered around to start with. So I encourage each of you to reflect on your own emotional responses to retirement planning. Don't ignore them. Don't stuff them down. I know we have a tendency of doing that. Acknowledge them, deal with them, and that way you are well on your way to a happy retirement and a life that you have only dreamed of. So, your emotions are okay, they're normal. But seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. And like I said, together we can navigate this emotional landscape of retirement planning. So I hope y'all enjoyed today. I hope you got something out of it. Drop me some comments. Let me know if you enjoyed it. I will put the links for the groups. Like I said, we've got women who have served. If you've served in the military, you didn't have to retire, but if you served in the military, you can join that one. And if you have not served in the military, I've got Dream Weavers, where purpose and passion reunite. So reach out, join our community, and don't forget about the What's Her Superpower podcast tomorrow. That will drop at noon on, I think I'm anywhere and everywhere that you would watch a podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and a few other places that I don't really know. All right, y'all have a blessed day. If there's something in particular that you would like me to research and do some training on, please drop me some comments or reach out to me. Like I said, you please register for my, don't forget to register for my email list, and that way you can be the first to know when we drop a new episode, and who we're interviewing. So I think that's it. Y'all have a blessed day. I love you so much, and I can't wait to hear from you. Talk to you soon. See you next Wednesday. Bye.